Podcast night, Baxter's 942 here in the Highlands, my home turf. It's film industry night. I've been kind of obsessing, jockeying. I feel like if you had those nuts hanging on the back of your automobile or truck.
You mean testicles?
I've been on those, man.
Gonads.
Yeah.
You've been doing really good for our film industry here, though. You've given us a chance. A lot of people don't.
The thing is I knew of it. I didn't realize how fucking good it is, how talented it is. I mean, really.
Thank you.
I'm blown away, and I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan.
Man, thank you.
Your videos, gravitated to you, music videos you were doing, and
Man, thank you.
so
They're average.
yeah.
But you've had some good people on this show.
Yeah, well,
Better people, I'd say.
There's what I'm finding out with this podcast. There are a lot of good people to choose from.
Dude, it's so funny. I think that there's no real media outlet for us here. Not much that puts us on a platform at all. Except
really
you.
That
You are the
lets
one.
you speak freely.
Yeah, dude.
You're definitely good. Yeah.
So you are that for us, because if you think about it, man, we really don't have anything even remotely close to what you're doing that gives us the opportunity to speak and talk about what we're doing, not in the city. I mean, honestly, do you guys know of any other thing that exists like that?
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, you are the only one.
Mi casa, su casa.
That's
Is that
why
right?
I can cuss on here, right?
Absolutely.
Well, that's why you're my motherfucker, right?
7 FCC words you can say on this.
I can always. Do you get so it's 7 times each episode, or in the history of you have? I can only say that throughout the history.
Throughout.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Speak freely. Totally unfiltered.
Okay.
That's the
I
best
will.
part.
I asked the same thing last time.
Yeah.
Did you?
I was like,
I listened to yours.
I was like, what can I say? Because I have a potty mouth.
Well, I learned a lot about you because I didn't know a lot of that stuff, so that was super
Yeah.
cool.
I didn't realize that, that was the first time you all had met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I did not. Are we rolling now?
We are rolling, but we're just shooting the shit. Keep
Okay, I'm
talking.
sorry.
Go.
So I
Look
did-
for sorry. Antonio, John, Julie, One Must Fall.
Huzzah.
Yeah.
That premiered in Cincy for the HorrorHound show or
Yes.
event this past. Was it Friday night?
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah. Which I heard did okay.
I was so proud.
Okay.
We were happy.
Pretty fucking okay.
We were happy.
We have a couple people at this table who were nominated for Best Actor,
Yes.
Best Actress, winner.
Yeah.
Where's the? Did you bring it?
So I was driving here and realized I forgot it. I literally had put it by my front door, and then was like, okay, I got my
Like a
chapstick
door
and
stopper? What do you do? Would you use it for?
No, I want to put it out of the way so my cats don't chew on it. Because that's a real concern.
Oh, it's so awesome. It is. So
I mean, it would probably just add to the appeal or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's stay with this.
Yeah.
First time you all worked together. You
Yeah.
and Julie. Best Actress.
Yeah. So
She wins. Your.
We did nominate. We auditioned. John and I looked at a lot of actresses all over the country, a whole lot. I think if you go to Backstage, it still keeps a queue.
Yeah.
And what's that queue? It's high, very high.
It's quite a bit. Yeah.
I don't know.
We
I know
watched a
Julie
lot.
doesn't believe this, but I have to send her a screenshot now because it's over 200. I'm sure.
Yeah, that's.
And then I
about
probably
right.
got a lot of emails and Facebook requests and Facebook auditions and stuff. And she, I'm not saying that she beat out a lot of people because there was a lot of great people in there, but she was definitely the right person for that role. And there were some really, really great people as well. But we felt that Julie was just, and John helped me cast the entire thing. So we looked at everybody, and Julie was she was definitely the character, and we definitely knew that. And we looked at a lot of people, and the audition was not a short one. It was not a little bit of stuff that you have to memorize so that we can figure out the personality. It was 7 minutes, and we watched every single one front to back.
Time, isn't it? 7 to me.
Well, it was 3 different scenes.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
All right,
yeah.
Yeah.
So depending on how you filmed it.
The reason why we had to do that is because our film is very different as far as it's not traditional horror, so it has a comedy element, it has a very dramatic element, and of course it does have horror, so you had to be proficient in all three, which is very difficult. And not only Julie, but also John's character. So while John helped me cast this film, he auditioned as well, just because he's like my brother. Yeah. But he wanted to be considered just like everybody else, so he was not part of that process. And when we finally reviewed all, so my investors and I reviewed all, sorry about that, we reviewed all of the auditions, and we had a lot for that role. They knew nothing about John, but it was all unanimous. I even had people challenge it and call me the devil and a motherfucker and all sorts of other shit. And so that's three. So I had to.
What's worse? What's worse, the devil or motherfucker?
Yeah. So I had to prove to them that John actually did audition. I wasn't just casting my brother in the film. So of course, John was like, "You have my full permission because this guy's calling you the devil." So we had to show them that
it's
John.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Unlike me, I just paid him.
No.
Just paid him.
But
I would pay anything
is
for
John
that.
Wells.
Yeah.
John Wells.
It is. Honestly, like I was a little concerned that like I'm on video next to John, because you always look uglier if you're on video.
I know,
with
right?
Gosh.
What was it? I remember one time there was I'm digressing here. Daniel Tosh did a stand-up. He said if Brad Pitt and David Beckham had a child, it'd be,
Tosh.0 said that about him. I can imagine. Yeah, but I feel really, really good. It was the best weekend of my entire life, and I'm very in debt to these guys for allowing me that opportunity and giving me the chance. And I owe them everything. So.
We're just riding your coattails, bro.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go back in time a little bit, because we touched on this last week. This was a brainchild of yours in 2016.
Yes.
And if I remember, you were on here. You didn't you say something like the family went away and you just killed it for in a week's time. You had this.
These days I'm just a dad. I'm not really much a creative. But so my wife gave me a week because I tried everything. I went to what are those floating tanks where you float in the salt water?
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't shut my brain off, to be able to come up with creative ideas. And I knew I wanted to do a movie. So she said, all right, I'm packing the bags. I'm going to be gone for a week. You have 1 week without the kids to write this thing. And in that time frame, I had to come up with an idea that was good enough for our budget, that I knew my resources, that I could create a film within that. So I wrote the whole script in 1 week.
Wow. So that was 2016, and you are at this point. You have your investors, everyone in place, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm one of the investors, and I sold my car, so I make sure this thing happens. But I believe in it, and I believe in these people, and I knew I had the right pieces in order. And we've been through the trenches together. We've been -10 probably degree weather at some point.
Yep.
I slept at Paint Factory. I worked there 17 hours a day, and I didn't sleep most nights. And I literally slept in that haunted ass thing, I slept with a heater right next to me, and I probably almost died there. But of course I wouldn't put my actors or my crew through that. So we staggered them. The arrival times.
The script's done. Now comes I get to turn to these guys. John, when you get a hold of this script, what's your impression? What's your take on it?
Well, it was.
Could first of all, are you the trailer? I'm going back to the trailer. A lot of red in the trailer. Is that the visual?
Crimson.
Very crimson.
There you go.
Good word.
So you've got the script. Take it from there. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, it was. There was so much character in it, and every character had so much development, which was just a lot of fun. At the time, the first time I read it, I didn't. I didn't. It was like the first draft you sent me was really overlong, because it was your vomit draft, and my character had lots of monologues, and I was. My first thought is this is going to be a chore to memorize, because it was a lot of dialogue, and of course I'm questioning what's going to get cut, and because it was overlong when we knew it was going to get trimmed down, but it was very Antonio, and that it was very genre bending. It had lots of schlocky humor, and then it got real dark. and it got really heavy at times, and then it goes right back to the schlocky. And it was a very fun read, just the way it would bounce back and forth. And the characters were just really rich and well defined, and it's Antonio, so I couldn't wait to do it.
Couldn't wait.
Man, thank you.
Julie, your take. I don't think I asked you that question when you first got the script or the final whatever.
So reading the sides for the audition were interesting, and I was like, oh, this is fun. And like I had an easy time.
Well, hold this thought.
Yeah.
Had you known of Antonio before you?
So I did. That's what's funny is I'm trying to remember, but it was the whole thing where it's like, you know, Louisville famous and award-winning photographer and you know, 5,000 friends, and like I don't know if I even tried friend requesting you because you were maxed out or something. Yeah, so anyway, so I'd heard of him, and like I'd seen him posting the audition stuff on Facebook.
Is that how you found it?
Yeah, it was on Facebook, and a few people tagged me because it's like, oh, a you know, late 20s, early 30s woman, whatever, and I was like, oh, I could do that. That's me. And so the sides were fun for the audition. But then when I actually read the script, I was just like, oh, this is really fun because I love that shit. Like I loved Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, I love it.
Because I'm not I said this last time, I'm not a horror person because I get scared really easily. But like the fun where it's just like, or Cabin in the Woods.
Oh,
love
it's so
that
good.
movie too.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so I loved the script. I was like, oh, I'd be happy to be a part of this. Yeah, and it was just funny because like whenever you first emailed me back after I sent you my audition and you were like, oh, that was really good. Like I read it and was like, I guess he's just like that with everybody. Because I was like, there's no way that I got a personalized, I don't know, but I fully believe you gave personalized messages to like everyone you could.
I tried to.
Yeah.
But so like you were like one of the first also. That's right.
Yeah, I was up
I
on that
remember
shit.
now. Yeah, you were one of the first two, but
Yeah.
But everyone had to kind of live up to that, I think, for me, and because as soon as I saw it, I sent it to John, you know, and like I hope that's okay. But I was so proud of it, and like watching that come to life in that format was exactly what I was thinking, and that was really, really beautiful. But to keep it real about the script, I know that we talked about that. It wasn't like, so the script was not just me, like the concept initially, but I had a lot of people who helped me out pretty dramatically, who brought really, really good ideas to the table. Who I love and respect and look up to, and a lot of it was the actors as well. So a lot of that was not just me, but I have seen pretentious directors who do table reads, and they'll correct actors. They will not let them step out of that box at all.
That's not you, is it?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Because I think that if I write that, then that's the way that I say it, and it might sound okay from my mouth, but like I saw another director who's a famous horror director, and he was in his table read with a lot of famous actors, and every time they would say something different than the script, he would make sure that he corrected them, and he would make a note of it, make sure that like they don't step out of line. But for me, when I saw that movie that we're discussing, you may know some of these movies, we can talk offline, but those actors don't sound right when they say those lines, because that's not coming from their mouth, and that's not the way that they say that. So we were all in agreement that we don't want to be gun shy with each other about changes, because I feel that that's very important, that they act like themselves and they make this their own, because whatever is written here is just it's the format, but that's not their character. They become the character. So we all agreed that it was very important that they take that themselves.
I know John would get that because he's worked with you. Were you good with that? When, you know, did you appreciate that?
Yeah. Well, so because of I have a stronger theater background, and with theater, so I was a theater major in college, and they were very big on teaching you, like, if you do professional, like, Broadway shows and whatever, depending on the show, if it's not like a brand new thing, and you, like, they will dock your pay if you don't have your line. I mean, not for saying the instead of you know, but to a point, they will, if you like ad lib too much because you forgot your lines, and that's a big no-no. And so I had that, like, you know, really strict upbringing, so to speak, when it comes to acting. That being said, like, I really appreciated this because I did try and memorize as much as possible, but I can't think of an example. There's at least once or twice where we did the table reads, And it was fine. And then once we got into the actual day of filming where you're there physically doing it, we were like, this isn't feeling right. And so and he was super open. And there was one day where I was like, well, I was thinking about this line, and we like talked about it, and ultimately he was like, no, let's keep it. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. And that was, but like he was respectful when I brought it up, and of course I'm respectful because I'm being paid to do this.
No, but
so and it obviously was worked out.
I think if we don't keep that open dialogue, and then I think that it is set up for failure, in my opinion. And I think that I have seen personally a lot of movies where, because I watch the behind the scenes on everything that's out there that I possibly can, but I feel like if that dialogue is not open and people cannot come to you when they feel like there's an issue, then that could sink the ship. It really, really can. And but we were very safe about it and making sure that that everybody sounded like themselves, because they have worked very hard offline without nothing that I have seen in their homes, in front of mirrors, while they're brushing their teeth, to create these characters for themselves. So I think that it's very important that they do what they have been working on so hard. And also, I've called them a lot, so I know that I can only do so much on set, but in order to save time, we spent a lot of time talking on the phone, a lot of time, and probably when I called, they're probably like, it's Antonio, I don't know if I can pick this up. I don't want to get engaged in a 30-minute conversation, but a lot of that directing was done beforehand so that we can discuss the characters, so that we can move quickly on set, because we didn't have a lot of time. We filmed this in 11 days straight, which I'm so sorry. Next time I'll give you guys a break.
No, I like that.
But you know, so I have to make sure that that we can be as productive as possible when we hit the ground running. So when we were on set, most of that work was done beforehand because we had already discussed it in great detail. Like I called John a lot. I called John a lot. I called John a lot because, I mean, not only is John like one of my best friends that I've ever known in my whole life, he has been there for me through like a lot of my very difficult times and through some depressions and stuff like that. So I know I can tell John anything. So John actually, like, I would say that John helped me through this process. He's been through this a lot. This is my first feature, but John has been through this a lot. So like I leaned on him for a lot of this advice, and I would always come to him for every decision I made, because John, he was probably the most experienced person that I've ever met, you know, in this format. So I had to make sure that I kept coming back to John for a lot. So a lot of that credit goes to a lot of different people, and sometimes I get more credit than I deserve, but there's other people on here who like other people who you might not know. Sabrina was on the show. She helped me a lot. I talked to her a lot. There's a lot of people on here who I think deserve a lot more credit than just me. So I'm glad that those people are being recognized. That's very important to me.
Yeah. And then, John, coming into this being your first feature, how many you've got a lot, several under your
Yeah.
So
I've done quite a few. I don't keep count. But
you coming into this, I know you're BFFs, and I mean that's all good. And he's obviously very talented. What is it when you came in? What kind of, besides doing your part in acting, what other roles were you kind of taken on to?
Well, he eventually brought me on to kind of help do the casting process. So I mean, I reviewed a lot of auditions for Julie's role, and then the killer's role, and Alton's, most of the lead principal characters. I saw every audition. That was probably the biggest role outside of acting. That was probably the biggest role that I played, was helping pick those. We were pretty much in agreement on the vast majority of the time. I mean, when somebody nailed it, it was pretty clear. I mean, Julie, there weren't a lot that we really, really loved for Julie's role, but I mean, it was Julie here and everyone else here that we loved.
I paid him
so
too.
It was, very well.
Very well.
Yeah.
There were actually people who fought for other people. So we got and people locally, we didn't cast a lot of local. So other people who were local were fighting for other people, which I understand, because those people were really good too. Yeah. But and I think with actors, you can be great. You could be the greatest, but you just might not be good for that role. But you're great for anything else. Like if I were to do anything, and that's tough, because a lot of people, like directors, don't get feedback, which me and John tried as much as humanly possible. But there were a lot, and it's very difficult. And some people harassed us and things like that, and accused us of things and stuff. But and other people went to bat for those same people. But we knew, and they were telling me negative things, you know, like, don't do this and don't do that. And I'm like, but it paid off, right? So the first festival that we did, Julie wins Best Actress, and she was in some very stiff competition with people who have much, much, much bigger budgets than we did.
Well, that was kind of my next segue.
Yeah.
We were talking about the awards. I mean, you were nominated for six categories, with Julie taking a winner's row. But what was, you know, let me back up. The trailer. I'm gonna probably edit that part out. All right, the trailer comes out a few months ago, and as I was telling her, I'm like, "Good Lord!"
Oh man, thank you.
The trailer.
I hope that's a good thing.
Well, it was on several levels. Good Lord! I mean, you got a reaction. I reacted in both. Yeah, I mean, it was like, wow.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm thinking, is the rest of the movie?
Oh yeah.
How is, you know? In fairness, I'm thinking, is it going to be equal or more?
Yeah.
And
I thought a lot about it, man. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
So take it. I want to know the process, because who ultimately, like with the trailer, do you have creative control of that?
I consult with all of them. I always consult with all of them, because I don't trust myself enough. Because you put me on the free throw line, and I'm going to miss some shots. So I'm not 100% from the free throw line, right? So I have to consult with them all, because I'm not sure, you know, and I want to be sure. So we all almost make the agreement, you know, in unison. But for the trailer, a lot of people were telling me, don't release anything until you have a call to action. And I just felt like I could not wait. So
explain it. What's that mean for me?
So that means, like, if I release a trailer and I don't have, like, at the end of that trailer, if it doesn't say DVD release then, premiere then, something.
I got you.
So I stayed up one night and I was really late, and I did this decision by myself, which I never do. And I was like, well, I'm going to put all of the gore, well, a lot of the gore, not all of it, but I'm going to put a lot of the gore in the trailer, because I know that's what horror people want to see, and that's what's going to get them in the seats. If I choose to put comedy in this trailer, if I choose to go in a different direction with this trailer, highlight the performances, we don't have like a celebrity that everyone knows, except for John Wells, in this trailer. We don't have, so, and ultimately, that's why people watch movies. They'll say, oh, The Rock is in this comedy film, or this action film, I will watch this movie, or Will Ferrell is in this comedy, so I'll give it a chance, or Kevin Hart is in it, so I'll give it. With horror, they will give it a chance based on the concept alone, and if the violence meets their standards, and if it's different than things they have seen before, so they will give it a chance. But horror audiences, while they're very loyal, they're very picky too. So I knew that I had to craft this trailer in such a way that that it could get people in the seats, and then they could see these performances, which were the true star of the film, but they wouldn't give it a chance if I put in comedy and drama and character building. But everyone who watched the movie so far, it didn't trick them, but I basically did it in such a way that that's what got them in the seat, but it gave us a chance to prove ourselves, because the true star of this film is not the gore, it's the performances and the story, which were led by the actors.
Going back to the trailer, there's no comedy in the trailer.
No.
Zero.
Little at the end.
Well, I really didn't buy that. I was the gore, the violence.
And you know what's funny, man, is that, like, everybody that came and saw the movie, I asked a lot of people their honest opinion. And I don't know about most people, but people are too honest with me sometimes, so they will shoot me straight. And I asked them their favorite part, and a lot of them said the comedy, and they said, some people said, I'll tell you right now, I don't like horror. I'd say, what do you think of it? I don't like horror. And I'd be like, and then it was a ... you know? And I'd say, well, what you know, what do you think though? And they'd say, I don't like horror, but I loved this film. It was the best film I've seen in the last 5 years, the best horror film I've seen. I don't like horror, and I love this film. And I love the comedy, and I love this, and I love that, and I love the drama, and because this film definitely has gore in it. It is there. If you want lewd humor, it is there. But this film is also philosophical, and it quotes Edgar Allan Poe and William Shakespeare and other. It's very different than anything that I think that I have seen before. But it's also all the things that I love that I have seen before in the same film.
And there's characters, because I'm not a horror fan per se, and I genuinely am proud of this film. I'm proud of the character that I got to play, and the characters that develop in this film aside from me, you know. And I want to really quickly touch back on the whole like actor thing, because it really, that's the thing is I had personal friends, a lot of personal friends who auditioned for this role, and they're beautiful, they're gorgeous women, and they're very talented. I've seen them perform, but it's not that I'm better, you know. And I want to actually go back to me winning the award. I was super thrilled and not expecting it. I was tipsy when I got there, so I was a little bit awkward over my acceptance speech, and I told people that.
Is there a video of the speech?
There might be video. Okay, well, that's great. But that's the thing is, and this is not me knocking any of the other films, because I haven't seen any of them, and they obviously got that far, so they must be good quality films. But not every horror film actually gives, even if it's a leading female role, an actual character. Because let's be honest, on this level, it's not uncommon for the leading female to get plenty of screen time, but just be scared and running around half naked for no fucking reason. That's 4. The show 5. Okay, I want to get 1. So that being said, like I was really thrilled about this. I mean, I'm in a hazmat suit most of the movie, so someone might be into that. But the point is, like, sex is not selling this movie. It's characters, it's story.
So I'm going to be
substance.
bummed that you're not in the shower naked. There's a naked shower scene.
I mean, I guess we could go back and work something in. I think you should have Barry, actually.
Is there like the director's cut, you know?
Well,
I think we should talk Barry in that shower scene.
Dude penis is the funniest thing in the world here in America, and I know there might be international listeners here because we brought people internationally to watch the film. But,
yes.
However, that is not funny overseas. So dude penis is like #1 funny here, like, you know. So, but JP Levengood is like the funniest guy in the whole world. He's in this movie, and he wanted to do a scene naked, but it was too funny. And like, so we like to with our writing and the way that we edited this film, we like to put the audience where they do not trust us. So that's very important, that they don't trust us and they don't know what we're going to do next. So we do put in comedy scenes right after a very depressing moment, because we want to elevate emotions. So that they don't trust us. So JP did a scene in his underwear, but I also made him do it like with fully clothed. But it's really, really funny, and it's right after a depressing scene. And but he wanted to do it naked, and I was like, I think it's too funny, so we didn't include that.
Is there a blooper reel?
I wish I would have put the penis in, but
That's what she said.
but it's so funny though. And there's a couple penises in this film, but it's they're not. I think that you'll remember it forever.
Oh, the other one, yeah.
Yeah, there is just one more, and it's like a trophy, more like I have it in my home.
Tell me now. You all obviously, there's a process on how you got to be part of this. What was the process?
I was honestly like I was just lucky to be part of it, to be honest with you. So I did write it.
No. I'm talking about for the movie to be played at.
Oh yeah. So how it was played at HorrorHound. So the debut is at HorrorHound, and that was it's the biggest horror film, not just horror film festival, but it's the biggest horror festival in the whole entire world. So I felt that if we waited long enough, it would be a wise decision if we premiered there. And I know I got a lot of heat for not premiering in Kentucky, but believe me, I've reached out to all you theaters, and none of you guys responded to me. Just like this T-shirt, nobody responded to me. So Kentucky business, you better
digress a little bit. The one I gave you? Did you reach out to that?
Not today.
Okay.
I have not reached out to Lisa Fry, but I'm coming.
I think that venue would work for you.
Also, touching on the not premiering here in Louisville, so let's be honest. Anyone who has any kind of business sense about film and theater should understand this and not take it personally. That's not how this works. Like, if you're able to premiere in LA, cool. We're not.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't afford that. So if you want to sell DVDs, if you want to get reviews, and if you want to get actual viewers to purchase the DVDs, you have to premiere at a film festival, because a lot of film festivals won't let you screen if you don't premiere there, depending on...
That's it.
So in order to get reviews, get notoriety, get people talking, and then therefore sell DVDs, because, hey, let's be honest, we all love art, but you gotta have money to make art.
Yeah.
Sad but true.
We'll go back. Let me take one step back. What was the process? How did you how were you able to get?
I'll tell you this.
There?
I was talking about it before. It was all based on the trailer. So I went against, and I've done this a lot, like in my career, and whether it was with film or with other things, I went against my better judgment. Well, no, it wasn't against my better judgment. It was against what I was told was the right way. And then I just went with my judgment, which was to create a trailer, even though I did not have a call to action. And then I would see what that did. So now the trailer has like 150,000 views. It's been shared like 70,000 times or something like that. So I think that I went against that, even though I was told that by somebody who knows a lot better than me, but I knew that that would be the right thing. So when I did that, then I got offers. I got distribution offers off just the trailer alone. And then I got people who were asking me to be in their film festivals. And then I got on Bloody Disgusting, which is like the #1 horror thing in the whole world, the horror website in the whole world. And all kinds of stuff started coming in once people got because I was like, yeah, I did a movie, and people would be like, okay, buddy, you know. And then
that kind of is.
Is that the
and then I show them the
exact
trailer.
voice that they?
Yeah, they did. They literally took that posture with me. So I'd like be in the coffee shop. They're like, "What are you here doing?" I'm like, "Well, I'm in a meeting about my film." They'd be like, "All right, buddy, that's pretty funny. Good job, good try."
Yeah.
But then I'd show them the trailer, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, you made a really, you really did do a film." Yeah. But so we got into HorrorHound with that, which was like the pinnacle for me because I knew that was like the #1 in the entire world. So we did that, and that was beautiful. But I think when we come home, and we're in 81 festivals all over the world, so I think, and that's on theaters and screens and stuff like that all over the world, so that it gives us an opportunity to go meet people and network, which to me is much more important than like the awards and the notoriety and things like that, is harnessing those relationships all over the world. So, I'm so proud to like present the people who I respect so much to these other people. So I just want people to get a chance to meet them and interact with them and see the film and see their performance. So that's how it started, was actually from the trailer, which I was told not to do by several people. And also people are telling me, do not do a big premiere in Kentucky. But guess what? I'm doing it because I want to have an event. I want to have, so the past has a lot of music in it. And I want to have the past play, and I want to have like a beautiful event where everybody can like interact and meet each other. And I want to do it differently than I have seen done previously. And I've been told not to do that several times, that it can affect distribution and all the blah, blah, blah. To me, that doesn't make any sense to me. What makes sense to me is doing it big and having 1,500 people out and having an actual event where people can enjoy and talk about it and meet these guys, because I'm so proud of it. So yeah, man, that's what I'm gonna do.
You didn't have The Rock, but you have the John.
Which is even better.
Yeah.
Even better.
I think it's better. So I think John is so much better than The Rock. And I wish that next time, I can write like a role.
Can you raise your eyebrow, John? Yeah, there you go.
John can do it.
We can smell what he's. Okay.
Well, we wanted to. I was thinking, how can I make a shirtless scene with John? God bless. But it's more in his contract, and that's the truth, isn't it? It is.
You have a contract, really?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean,
with the shirt though.
Yeah. I mean, it's sometimes, yeah. It depends, but yeah. I mean, sometimes.
Did he pull Did he use the contract on you?
No. But that's my brother. But like, I love.
I'll take my pants off for Antonio.
but I would too though. But, can we arrange this?
I'll just film it. I'll film everything.
Check this out, guys.
Oh man, dimming the lights.
Oh.
So
we'll get Kevin to come and start playing some music.
No, I'm feeling it.
So John was harassed by men so much on the set that I had to tell him to stop.
I
man.
know.
Is that the truth?
No, there are a couple of times where I'm like, leave him alone.
Yeah, tell him.
He's just trying to be here and be a good actor. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 100% hetero. He's a beautiful guy. And I said, Beckham and Pitt.
Oh my God.
Beck Pitt.
If you would not go gay for John, then something is you're lying. You're lying, dude.
Thank you.
You are lying if you wouldn't. That's the truth. But no, there is really there's something in his contract. He's gonna go shirtless. You gonna pay?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
that's actually really smart, though.
I have to. I mean,
you've put in some work to get.
I don't walk around like shredded.
Yeah.
Just because there's pictures of me on Facebook where I'm like fucking like 5% body fat, I'm gonna walk around like that. If I get a script and there's like a bunch of shirtless stuff and it's like, fuck,
That is actually
I've got
brilliant.
That's
I
like
have
Chris.
to
That's like Chris
diet for,
Hemsworth, though.
yeah,
Like before the
Okay,
Avengers
I
and
never
stuff.
really thought of it, but I'm sure.
Yeah, so I mean,
that's-
I'll have to take 4 to 6 weeks to kind of get in shape for it. So
He does that for his honestly, he does that for mentally for roles though too. And
sure.
both of them,
Yeah.
I would love to hear, and I don't want to take over Eddie questioning, but I would love to hear how you
Why not?
guys
Ask-
get into
ask away.
those
This is
roles.
your show, too.
Yeah, because like
It's your
I did
show.
not
Yeah.
expect Julie is
Good.
like a
Yeah.
huge surprise. Thank
Go,
you.
break it.
But
Let's
I'm
talk.
bad at
I'm
keeping
so
secrets
curious.
too.
No, you didn't tell me. I didn't know.
No, I know, because I was like, oh, but I want to post because you posted about this
yeah,
earlier,
yeah.
and I wanted to be like, I want to see you there, but I didn't.
Well, how do you guys do it though? Like because this role is very different, I think, than the traditional because it's not just horror, but how can you? Because dude, like what I wrote for
keep
you guys.
talking. I'm going to the bathroom.
Okay, thank you. I got to peek. But what I wrote for you guys, I felt that I was so surprised how like accurate that was to what I felt when I wrote that. That like so John, for example, he's very he's so awkward in the film. He's so awkward, and I was like, how did he do it? Like how? Because I even commented to you like when you did the audition, there was a couple like missing elements from every audition that we watched, but you nailed that we never discussed, but it was in there. I'm just curious how you did that, so I would love to hear how you guys got into those roles and prepared for those.
Well, I think, for as far as role preparation, I mean, for me, it really varies from role to role as far as what technique or method, that goes into getting ready for it. But ultimately, it comes down to studying the script, and that doesn't just mean reading the script. That means fucking studying the script. You read between the lines. You understand the intent and the meaning behind every line of dialogue. And you kind of and then you connect the dots and you fill in the blanks and you create that backstory. You create the
subtext and everything.
Yeah. You fill in the gaps with the emotional content. Because a script is just paper. It's just words. But those words have some type of intent behind them. And I think if you understand where every single line is coming from, then you can kind of begin to figure out what the character is about. And I don't know, it's past my bedtime. I don't even know.
No, I totally understand what you're saying, because like the blueprint is in there.
Yeah,
but if you're not looking for it, then you're just gonna you're not gonna
you have
nail
to
it.
study it, and you have to really spend some time thinking about it and kind of hashing it out in your brain and create some kind. You have to do your emotional homework.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much what he said. Just so Sarah is not super different from me as a person, like as a whole, in terms of personality. As I said before, I had a really easy time saying those lines in the audition in terms of like, oh, I'm a sarcastic asshole too. So, but in terms of the emotional scenes or, it's finding that subtext of what's the inner motivation. And it may not be as clear cut in terms of blatantly saying in the scene or displaying what the character's motivation is, but that's what drives the character. And so as an actor, no matter what character you have, no matter how similar or dissimilar they are to you as an individual, you need to look for, I'm forgetting, back when I was in college, we did like the GOAT sheet, like goal, objective, and then AT. No, TE. So goal, objective, tactics, and then I always forget what the E is, but it's like, what is it? Execution. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. So anyway, but that's the whole thing is you don't have to do it for every single scene necessarily, but it's helpful. And so I'm very big on, to me, you've been successful with acting if people believe you. If that's when you have to be present in the moment. I was talking last time how acting is like Vegas. So when you go on stage or on screen, it's not Julie going in there and saying and doing those things. It's Sarah, it wasn't John, it was Dorian. And so and that protects you in a way if you have like a romantic scene or a violent scene. Barry and I have a really intimate, climactic moment at the very end that's very violent, but because he and I built up a nice trust and rapport beforehand, we were able to be intimate in that scene. But it wasn't Barry, it was the killer. It wasn't Julie, it's like when Sir Ian McKellen was talking about, when I go on scene, it's not me, it's the wizard. I'm doing a really bad Ian McKellen right now, but he's like, so Ian, director, action, you shall not pass. Yeah. Then cut, and then it's Sir Ian. But that's literally what it is. So you put on this coat, and that's your character, and you go on, and that's who you are, and you have to be real in the moments.
You have to just pretend the shit out of it.
Yeah,
I saw that interview too.
Because I what was it like?
That's funny, dude.
A long time ago, a real douche nozzle was all like trying to call me a liar because, well, you're an actress, so why should I trust you? And it's like, motherfucker, acting is feeling real emotion, so please back off right now. Like, but it's true though. I think you need to feel real emotions in the moment, but then you also need to be able to step the hell away for your own personal safety.
The authentic emotion is everything. I mean, like when one of the most frequent questions that I get from non-actors about acting is, how do you fake cry? I'm like, well, you don't.
Right. You don't fake cry.
If you fake it,
cry.
it's going to look fake.
Right.
I mean, if any insincerity is going to read on screen.
On high def, yeah.
I mean, we're human beings, and what we relate to are human emotions. And if that's not sincere, you're not selling it.
Well, you sold it enough. There's the one video of you.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I cry like a bitch in almost everything I do.
Well, I'm just saying,
That's
you
my
sold
thing.
it enough where I felt it. I mean,
yeah, you got to go there, man. I mean, anger, joy, anything it is. I mean, you have to. It's psychological warfare with yourself to trigger genuine emotions, and there's physiological cues that take place when you emote. Whether it's the veins pumping out, redness in your eyes, these physiological signs that take place. And if you're not really feeling it, that shit's not gonna go. No one's gonna see that. No one's gonna buy it.
right.
Yeah, like for me with crying, sometimes you can just be like the quivering, like breathing, like that'll help work up the tears.
You cried legit tears in the film.
I
though.
did. I did twice.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I remember both.
The
John,
mascara ran.
the greatest facial expressions. You give good facial.
Thanks, man.
Oh
You
man,
give good
no. Different kind of movie.
Yeah, different kind of, yeah. The ones that we don't make it to the end of the movie. All right, so leading up to March 15th, last Friday, what's this week like for you?
Oh man, I just pray that so I became religious so I could pray,
Just to pray.
God, Buddha, Allah. I'm in a few cults now, and all of it worked because I just hope that I can feel like this always, because I'm just honestly, man, it was the best weekend of my whole life, and every day I wake up to better news. I just can't believe it, that I'm here, sitting across from you talking about this with these guys who 10 years ago, I just wish that I could know them, and now I could call John. He's like my best friend, and my brother Todd, that I've been since I've been a kid. I was able to put him in my movie and write him as he is, and everyone loves him, so they could see him how I see Todd. And knowing Julie and meeting Julie, I can't believe that they're my friends. These are people who I lean on and I get advice from, and I can't believe that this is my reality. So I just want to, one day I'm so sad that I'm going to have to close this book and put it on the bookshelf, and all those characters are going to be
A lot of days from now, though.
But I think that the only thing that I can do is give them what that they gave me, and we can do it again. So I talked to Barry the same way, and there's a guy who wrote the movie Friday the 13th who I was on the phone with, the reboot, the Michael Bay one, and he told me he watched the movie, and he said, you owe it.
He was there.
He didn't come to Cincinnati, but we spent many hours on the phone because he did the artwork for the film, which was it's beautiful.
Yeah,
He's
I saw
really
the other
good.
poster.
Yeah, I love it.
But he told me, you owe it to those actors to write them roles again, better roles, and you owe it to them to give them something really beautiful once again. And he gave me so many great ideas, and he's just a great guy. But to me, I'm I cannot believe that this is the reality that I'm in, and I'm so lucky to
Stay in the reality. I want that moment.
Yeah.
During the premiere, it's playing, and you're there, and you hear reactions.
Oh, it's crazy.
I mean, how
I could my mouth smiling
was
so
that?
big I could jump rope with my lips. You know what I'm saying? So I heard that, and all of the in fact, like all of the comedy was hitting, you know, where it was supposed to, but also like it was crazy because some of it was so they were laughing so hard that their laughter would spill into the punchline, and it would ruin the punchline. But I think that's a gift. So, because I always pay everything off. So everything that I wrote, I paid off later. So later, they were laughing so hard. There was so much laughter that they didn't get the later joke. So, but that's a gift because they were laughing so hard in the interim. But so I was so proud that like we got so much positive feedback, and I asked everybody. It's like as a filmmaker, you're just trying to make the films that you grew up loving, but you have a platform now, so you can change stereotypes. So I'm Hispanic, so every Hispanic that I have ever seen in film is a gangster as a male. As a female, they're either a maid or they're an angry wife. So I was able to break a stereotype in that we had a gay character who he's Hispanic, but he's traditionally in horror, gay characters are not strong. And I think that's the wrong stereotype, because the stereotype that I know of the LGBT community is they're very brave. They're very strong, and although the world, it's a sick world they live in that they've been up against, they are still kind to all of them. So that was our stereotype of that character and other characters as well. So we were able to break a bunch of tropes. And for me, that was so important because, you know, you are trying to make these movies that you grew up on. However, you have the platform, you have the voice to take a political posture on these. So,
were you looking over your shoulder and seeing who was in attendance watching this?
Yeah, I was so scared, you know. So like I was so nervous. I ate eaten 4 Slim Jims the whole weekend. So that was it. So I walked about 75 miles in that place. It was massive, 40,000 people a day. But it was super cool, and you know, I lost 10 pounds, and because I wish I could bottle that nervousness, because I think I perform better when I'm nervous. I drink it later or something. But I was on a panel also with people who I idolize. So like I sat next to, you know, Michelle. I don't know her. I can't pronounce her last name. It's Italian, but she's a director who I really look up to and idolize. And Jennifer Valdez and Soren from Finale, like just people I have idolized, you know. And I'm sitting right there next to them and answering questions and trying not to mess everything up. So there was like a 600 people in the audience. It was crazy.
Movie ends. You get the reaction from the crowd you were hoping for.
Yeah, so like everyone loved it. So a lot of people came up to me and they said, I do not like horror. And I said, oh, I can understand, you know, it's not for everybody. And they said, but I love this film. And like, I don't like horror, but this is my favorite film.
This was a good butt.
Yes. Yeah. It was not an ass butt. You know, it was a good butt. So it was like a ... butt. Right. And they were like, they would just tell me that, you know, and these are people who I respect, and they would definitely hit me with reality if they didn't feel that. So so I felt so good because I thought that they didn't come for the gore. They knew what the promise was, and for me, the promise was the story and the performance at a very high level. And I think that Julie proved it and John proved it as well, because they were nominated amongst people who are. We were a very small budget film, so these were very big budget films with very famous actors that they had, you know, had to perform against.
Best film director, cinematography, actor, actress, SFX. You made an impression.
Oh,
man.
thank you. Yeah, this is our first go, so like.
No,
It's all the big ones.
Yeah.
You set the fucking bar.
Oh,
dude.
thank you.
I mean,
Yeah, so like this
for
is
yourself, you did.
No, but
no.
So this is our first go at this. So we're in so many festivals going forward that we honestly had no idea how this is going to perform. So we did a couple test screenings in front of like some judges panels, and we just wanted to see like how it would perform in a non-genre festival. And non-genre means the non-horror essentially,
Right.
But non-genre sci-fi, whatever. But so we wanted to see how we perform against other people who are like romantic comedy in Switzerland or action film in Romania and
Really?
stuff like that.
You went there with that?
Yeah, so
Okay.
and we performed well, and so I knew that we're okay. So when we performed against people in our own genre, but at the highest level, and we compete with the world, I felt it was important to let that be an indicator of you know, what the film does for people.
Very cool.
I'm going to send you the film as a screener unless you want to wait to come to the screening in Kentucky.
Well, it depends. How long do I have to wait?
I can send it tonight.
Well, no, I'm talking
Oh.
about this.
Oh,
this
Kentucky.
yeah.
I don't know, at festivals. I mean, theaters hit me back, just hit me back, and let me know, because I'm tired of waiting. Kentucky, I'm very disappointed in you.
Well, let's. Cincinnati was this past week. Don't you have one in St. Louis?
Yeah, St. Louis next weekend.
Yeah. So how many more do you have lined up
so
that you'll be going?
They let you know sometime a couple months in advance.
But you're going to all these, right?
Yep. So we're going to South Carolina. I'm not allowed to announce which one that is because I'll be sworn to secrecy. But we are in one in South Carolina soon that was a bucket list item, and it's a very good one. It's so good, so I'm so proud to be in that one. But they let you know a month in advance. But we're all over the world. We've had a really good success rate on acceptance, and I heard 1 out of 10 is really good, and that's very successful. But we are far better than that. We've been lucky, very lucky, and we're not playing the political game, but we're trying so hard to get in front of people and just marketing the film as we hope it will perform. So we've been lucky. So I just hope that we can go to Iceland and Brussels and
Is that realistic?
Yeah, we're all over.
Really?
We're all over. We have been accepted to some other overseas, and who've let me know, but I can't say it because other people are waiting on their acceptance letters. So yeah, we're 81, and I'm hoping to get into 50 or 60, which would be super cool. And we'll make appearances, and we'll send somebody out for representation. And we're sometimes you're nominated, and sometimes you're not. But the best thing about these is harnessing the relationships. So I was able to introduce, John and Julie, and they were able to introduce me to some people that I love and respect. And now we're gonna form lifelong relationships. So. To me, that's the biggest takeaway. But I'm talking
we
so much.
We got matching tattoos.
Yeah. No, did you for real?
Who did?
Oh, because I was going to get tattooed there.
It's like Lord of the Rings.
I was going to get tattooed there, I swear. So.
I'm Samwise because I love potatoes.
Why don't we get tattoos, for real? John, you
yeah.
tattooed. Let's get tattooed. I don't
have any tattoos.
Would you do one?
Oh, Julie, come on.
She thought about it.
You won the best fucking actress in this film.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I seriously have to attribute that to Antonio because I'm not discounting myself as a performer. I am saying though that so Star Wars Episode 1 is a prime example. If you can have Academy Award-winning actors, and if they just have shitty writing and directing, sorry George Lucas, they're gonna not perform well.
Yeah.
So I had a great director with really good writing. It was very natural. So, yeah, that was a big help.
Man, thank you.
So,
But
I'm no Natalie Portman, or Queen Amidala, but she can do better than that, and she did.
I'm just super confident in them, man, and just meeting the other people at the festival and stuff. And like I said, Michelle Antuono. I just love and respect her so much, and Brooklyn Ewing, and all these people I love and respect were there, and we met them in person. It's so crazy. It blows my mind. Tom Atkins is a legend. He's in Creep Show, and we sat across from him. We ate with him. It was so crazy to me. It was the best weekend of my entire life.
Good for you.
And I think that's just the first one. So it's not our last one.
To me, the whole culmination of the thing, for me, the coolest thing was watching this guy, because I've been telling you for how many years you need to do a feature.
Yeah, the better part of 10 years.
Yeah, because we had done a handful of a small handful of shorts together, and man, when you do a feature, it's just gonna.
He always told me
it's just gonna take off. That's the next step for you.
Yeah.
And I remember he first told me when he was like, this is the year I'm making a feature. I'm like,
yeah.
yes, and I just watching his journey, and I know how much of himself he's put into this, and watching it all pay off is just such a beautiful and rewarding thing for me personally, just because I love the guy and I know what he's poured into it, and it's so deserved. Every bit of every applause that he gets is so well deserved.
So there's two things that I'm so thankful for in this journey, and one of them is negative, and I think I thrive off of negativity. So I've had so many people tell me this is not gonna work, and it's not, and bow out and just not believe in it and everything like that. And I think that drives me so much further than positivity. And I'm not asking for negative, because I guarantee you, as I say this, if this was live, there would be negative messages coming in my Facebook. So, but I think I do somewhat thrive on negativity, and negativity's thrown in my path quite a bit. But also because the people who worked hard on it are being recognized as they deserve. And for me, that is, it makes it all worth it. I sacrifice so much sleep and so much money and so much time away from my family and my kids, and and I put so much into this that and I know that when they are recognized, then it's all worth it. And every time that anything comes up about this film, if you search this film, I am so proud. I've searched it all myself a million times, but I'm so proud every time that they are recognized in the way that they deserve, because they have made those same sacrifices and got babysitters for the children and sacrificed meals and sacrificed sleep and called into work just to make this happen. And I think that it was worth it.
A lot of these people have other jobs, day jobs or whatever. Yeah. So, yeah. And I'm giving a little shout out to your wife. Yeah. She's very supportive.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love Jordan.
She's gonna love this her. Because everything that I do in life, I run past her. So like I tell her every day that I get more credit than I deserve, because this is both of us, out here speaking. And not only that, like, I'm a product of a lot of other people who gave me advice and things, but everything that I do, she's with the kids now. Like, she raises my, but she makes the ultimate sacrifice for me to be able to do this. She organizes all this stuff. She's behind the merch booth. She's talking to people. She's organizing the premiere. She's doing all these things. And she is the one sometimes who doesn't get the credit that she deserves. But I always make sure, and I'm so thankful that you mentioned her.
Well, I'm going to throw my name in the hat for the Kentucky, Louisville, whatever. I'm hoping it's Louisville.
We got Louisville.
Well, here's the thing. We need my suggestion or my offer to you do a... what do they call it? The the red carpet. We're going to do this on Facebook, stream live with interviews, and I'll be Ryan?
Ryan
Secret. So I'll do all that, and we're going to make this a big fucking deal.
Man, thank you so much, man. But I want to work really hard to do it, man.
Yeah.
And I think that honestly, it's the capacity is an issue for theaters, because a lot of them are only like 200 plus capacity, but I feel, and I'm not saying anything, but I think that we can bring out 1,500.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could say that confidently.
You can bring way more than 250 people, for sure.
Yeah, I think so. So if we did that, we would have to get multiple screenings, so it's been very difficult to find a place that could facilitate, but I really, really do believe in my heart that we can do that, those numbers.
Good. Proud of you guys.
Man, I'm proud of you. Thank you. You've been the platform for us always, like I mentioned.
I'm a huge fan. Fan
of yours?
I knew you win. That's what I'm afraid I'm going to wind up saying one day. I knew him win.
No.
He'll be jet rocketed.
Lucky to be here, honestly, man. And like I told you before, I cannot believe that that's my reality. That that I'm able to talk to them on the phone, and that I could say I know them. Like, I'm a nobody, and I'm very lucky to be in this situation. But I also want to give inspiration to people who are attempting this journey as well. That through hard work, you can do anything you want, because you might find that when you're looking for your passion, you might find you're passionate about sleep. That might be your passion. You might say
something else.
I have that plenty of days.
I care more about sleep than I care about making a movie, and that's fine, But I think that if you're truly in love with the work and you're not in love with, somebody tried to give me a very negative opinion for about 2 hours the other day, and with all due respect, that is not why I do this. And thank you for that opinion. And I know you're really trying to derail me, but I love the work. I don't love whether it was good or bad. That's not what I care about more. I care more about the work. So I'm in love with that, and that's what I'm passionate about.
Very much. Thanks for hanging out, man.
Man, I love you, man. I love you guys, and I'm so sorry I talk so much.
I'm kind of clinging on to this journey of yours, because I think honestly, it makes for great podcasting.
Well, thank you.
No, I'm such a huge fan. You guys
I love
too.
you. Thank you so much, man.
Let's have fun with this, man. Let me know what I can do to help you.
You've done everything for us,
I'm
man.
gonna keep doing it.
That's why, honestly, we might not be here had it not been for you giving us this outlet. I'm dead serious, because, like I told you before, and I'm dead serious about this, that you tell me one other outlet that gives people like us this chance. There's no one.
Locally, I don't think there is.
There is no one. You're the only one, man, and you're fighting for us, and you have been.
Yeah, because I've done podcasts where you watch a movie and talk about it, but no one cares about me. In terms of well, Julie, what are you doing in your life and your career?
I like to have conversations.
this is a very selfless act to put someone else before yourself. It is, man, and I think it's so beautiful that you do this. And I've said this before, and I've said this to other people, and I comment on every single post. But I am very thankful for this because we do not have a platform like this here, and I hope that's a call out to all media outlets here, because there was no representation in media outlets that have the ability to travel to Cincinnati to cover that. There was nobody.
No one
there.
local, really? Nobody.
No.
That is true, though, because like as much as people were fighting to have the tax break or whatever for people to come film here, it's like you do realize we have plenty of like theater and film companies here already in Louisville of talented locals who could use, you know, that recognition or whatever. And it's like, but no, they're only worried about people flying in from LA.
I didn't bring it to them either. So like,
So-
I think that with Kentucky, and I've worked for news, you know, I know I work there.
Yeah.
But some places are not, and this is, I'm probably going to ruin everything for myself going forward, but I really think that they could change the business model because they feel so confident that everybody should bring things to them. However, other journalists in other cities, big things going on, they will go look for it proactively. And this is a very reactive place where you have to bring it to them. And I feel like I've worked so hard that I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to do that anymore. We have plenty of social media response. We have a lot of engagement. I think that we're in a position now that if somebody didn't do that, then they missed out. And I'm not saying that nothing. But I feel that we worked so hard that like there's people here who are doing beautiful things, like Brian Cunningham. He's got an amazing. There's never been 2 horror films out at the same time from the city in history. And I think that media outlets should be more proactive. And to me, in my opinion, you're the only one that's doing that. And I'll say that to anybody, man.
No, there's this much of me just wants to turn this into a film industry podcast. But yeah, there's other people in town I need to talk to as well.
Absolutely.
And it's a pleasure talking to you guys.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I love you.
All right.
And I love
Yeah.
you both.
Love you more.
Can we talk
Thank
about
you.
X-Files more next time?
Absolutely. We'll do a whole show of the X-Files.
I'll get the details down better.